In today's video, we are going to discuss some important amendments of Indian Constitution. Let's start without any further delay of time. First Amendment Act in 1951 added ninth schedule of the Indian Constitution. This amendment provides several new grounds of restrictions to the right to freedom of speech and expression and the right to practice any profession or to carry on any trade or business as contained in Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. Seventh Amendment Act. It is an act related the reorganization of states. Ninth Amendment Act 1961 gave effect to transfer of certain territories to Pakistan in pursuance of the agreement between governments of India and Pakistan. 10th Amendment Act 1961 incorporated Dadra and Nagar Haveli as a UT. 12th Amendment Act 1962 incorporated Goa, Daman and Diu as a UT. 13th Amendment Act 1962 created Nagaland as a state. 14th Amendment Act 1962, which is an inclusion of Pondicherry in the first schedule of the Indian Constitution. 18th Amendment Act 1966 reorganized Punjab into Punjab, Haryana and the UT of Chandigarh. 21st Amendment Act 1967 included Sindhi as a 15th regional language. 22nd Amendment Act 1969 created Meghalaya as a sub-state with Assam. 24th Amendment Act 1971. This amendment was passed in the context of a situation that emerged with the verdict in Golaknath case by Supreme Court. According to this act, it was amended in Article 13 and Article 36B to remove all doubts regarding the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution, including the fundamental rights. 25th Amendment Act 1971. This amendment further amended Article 31 in the wake of the bankers' nationalization case. 27th Amendment Act 1971 established Manipur and Tripura as states and Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh as UT. 31st Amendment Act 1973. The total strength of Lok Sabha was increased from 525 to 545 on the basis of census 1971. 36th Amendment Act 1975 established Sikkim as a state. 38th Amendment Act 1975 it sought to make a declaration of emergency non-judiciable and placed beyond the jurisdiction of courts the ordinances and proclamation of emergency issued by the President and Governors. 39th Amendment Act 1975 placed beyond judicial scrutiny the election of President, Prime Minister and Chairman to either House of the Parliament. 42nd Amendment Act 1976. The working of the preamble was changed from Sovereign Democratic Republic as to read Sovereign Secular Democratic Republic. The life of the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies was extended from 5 to 6 years. It laid down 10 fundamental duties for all citizens. Existing 12 principles of state policy were expanded and given pursuance over fundamental rights. 44th Amendment Act 1978. It is a deletion of right to property from the fundamental rights, limiting the declaration of emergency only to cases of armed rebellion, the restoration of life of Lok Sabha and state assemblies to 5 years. 52nd Amendment Act 1985 added 10th schedule, which contains provisions as the disqualification on ground of defection. 53rd Amendment Act 1986 granted statehood to the UT of Mizoram. 55th Amendment Act 1986 granted statehood to the UT of Arunachal Pradesh. 56th Amendment Act 1987 Goa was made a state. 61st Amendment Act 1989 reduced the voting age from 21 to 18 years. 71st Amendment Act 1992 Konkani, Manipuri and Nepali were included in the 8th schedule. 72nd Amendment Act 1992 provides reservation to the STs in Tripura State Legislative Assembly until the readjusted of seats is made on the basis of first census after the year 2000 under Article 170 of the Indian Constitution. 73rd Amendment Act 1992 had added a new part, 9th consisting of 16 articles and the 11th schedule of the Indian Constitution. It envisages the Gram Sabha as the foundation of the Panchayati Raj system to perform functions and powers entrusted to it by the state legislature. 74th Amendment Act 1993, a new part 9th A relating to the municipalities were incorporated in the constitution of 3 types of municipalities: Nagar Panchayat for areas in transition from the rural area to the urban area, municipal corporations for larger urban areas. Besides that, Nagar Palika bill passed in this amendment, and constitution of three types of municipalities, reservation, and also the reservation for seats for SC and ST women and women's. 80th Amendment Act 2000. It deals with an alternative scheme for sharing taxes between the union and states. 81st Amendment Act 2000 provides that the unfilled vacancies of a year reserved for ST/SC kept for being filled up in a year as per Article 16 shall be considered separately for filling vacancies in the succeeding year, and the previous list will not be considered for filling the 50% quota of the respective year. 82nd Amendment Act 2000 provides that nothing in Article 355 shall prevent the state from making any provision in favor of the members of ST/SC in Arunachal Pradesh where the whole population is tribal. 84th Amendment Act 2001. The Act amended Article 82 and 173 to read the territorial constituencies in the state without alternating the number of seats allotted to each state in House of the People and Assemblies, including the SC and ST constituencies. 1991. 85th Amendment Act 2001 amended Article 16 4A to provide for constitutional seniority in promotion by virtue of the rule of reservation for the government servants belonging to the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. 86th Amendment Act 2002 provides for insertion of new Article 21A that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in such a manner as the state may by law determine. 87th Amendment Act 2003. The article provides that in Article 81 of the Constitution, in Clause 3, in the provision in Clause 2, for the figures 1991, the figures 2001 shall be substituted. 88th Amendment Act 2003. The article provides for insertion of new Article 268A, in which states that taxes on services shall be levied by the Government of India, and such tax shall be collected and appropriated by the Government of India and the states in a manner provided in Clause 2. 89th Amendment Act 2003. The article provides for the amendment of Article 33(8) and insertion of new Article 338A, which provides that there shall be a national commission for STs. 90th Amendment Act 2003. This amendment provided that for election of a legislative assembly of a state of Assam, the representations of the scheduled tribes and non-scheduled tribes in the constituencies, including the Bodoland territorial areas district so notified and existed prior to the constitution of the Bodoland territorial areas district shall be maintained. 91st Amendment Act 2003. This article provides that the total number of ministers, including the Prime Minister in the Council of Ministers, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the House of the People. 92nd Amendment Act 2003. This article provides for the inclusion of 4 new languages with Bodo, Dogri, Mithali and Santhali in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. 93rd Amendment Act 2005. In this amendment, a provision has been inserted that the state, that is Parliament or other legislatures, can make laws for the advancement of the ST, SC or OBCs of citizens in the matters of admission and educational institutions, including private unaided institutions. 94th Amendment Act 2006. The article provides that in Article 164 of the Indian Constitution in Clause 1, in the provision for the word Bihar, the words Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand shall be substituted. 95th Amendment Act 2010. It extended the reservation of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for SC and STs from 60 to 70 years. 96th Amendment Act 2011 substituted Odia language in the 8th schedule as Oriya. 97th Amendment Act 2012 amended the words or cooperative societies in Article 19 1C and inserted Article 43B, that is promotion of cooperative societies, and added Part 9th B, that is the cooperative societies. 98th Amendment Act 2013. It was an amendment. It was related with to empower the governor of Karnataka to take steps to develop Hyderabad, Karnataka region. I hope you find this video informative. Thank you for watching it.